Assalamu alaikum. In this audio, we will learn how to start Oracle Enterprise Manager Express in Multitenant database. First, we will see how to start Enterprise Manager Express for non-CDB. Use the Enterprise Manager Express URL provided by DBCA when DBCA configured your non-CDB to start the EM Express. EM means Enterprise Manager. That URL includes the HTTPS port number for the non-CDB. If you don't know the HTTPS port number for the non-CDB, then follow the steps below. Open a terminal window, execute the aura env command to set the environment variable and connect to the database. For example, here we have ORCL or whatever name you have created for the database. Check if the database is a non-container database. For that, you will run the command select name, cdb, con underscore id, which means container id, from v $database semicolon. Run the command. Now you can see which database is available there. Now check the instance name. For that, you will run query select instance underscore name, status, con underscore id from v $instance. Here you can see the instance name and the status and container ID. Issue the SQL statement that returns the port that is configured for EM Express. If you like in DBCA you have configured already, then you can, and you forget the port number. So through this command you can find the port number. Command is select dbms underscore xdb underscore config dot get https port, small brackets open and close, from dual. It will show you the port number for the EM Express. If a port number is not returned by this statement, then you must manually configure an HTTPS port for this CDB as described in configuring the HTTPS port. Starting EM Express for PDB. Use the EM Express URL provided by the DBCA when DBCA configured your PDB, means pluggable database, to start the EM Express. That URL includes the HTTPS port number for the PDB. If you don't know the HTTPS port number for the PDB, then follow the steps below. Display the pluggable database. You can run command to see the pluggable databases. Select con underscore id, name, open underscore mode from v $pdbs. Now you can see the container ID, name of the PDBs, and their open mode status, which can be read only, read write, or close. Alter the session and set container as PDB. For example, here PDB is PDB ORCL in this case. So command will be alter session set container equals PDB ORCL semicolon. So now your container is set as a PDB container. Starting EM Express for PDB. Issue the SQL statement that returns the port that is configured for EM Express. So same command you will run here, which we mentioned before. Select dbms underscore xdb underscore config dot get https port from dual. Here it is showing 0, means it is not configured. Note, when connected to the PDB, EM Express displays data and enables actions that apply to the PDB only. If a port number is not returned by this statement, then you must manually configure an HTTPS port for this PDB as described in configuring the HTTPS port. Configure HTTPS port for CDB and PDB. The default port used is 5500. In this case, you will configure Enterprise Manager Database Express for CDB to run on port 5501 and for PDB to run on 5502. Open a terminal window and execute the aura env command to set the environment variables. Verify that the listener is started by executing the listener control status command. Log in to SQL Plus as the sysdba user and verify that the dispatcher's parameter in the initialization parameter file includes the protocol equals TCP attribute. Show parameter dispatchers. It will show you dispatcher and their type and value. As we can see here, we have one dispatcher with the protocol of TCP. Configure HTTPS port for CDB and PDB continues. Execute the dbms_xdb_config .set HTTPS port procedure to set the HTTPS port for EM Express for a CDB. Alter session set container equals CDB at the $root. This now session is altered and container became main container, not PDB. So now we can run the command execute dbms_xdb_config .set HTTPS port 5501. To see the port number, we was using get HTTPS port. Now we are setting port, so we are using set HTTPS port 5501. Execute the dbms_xdb_config.set HTTPS port procedure to set the HTTPS port for EM Express for a PDB. Now we will again change the container with alter session set container equals PDB over CL. Now container is changed to pluggable database container. Now again we will run the execute command, execute dbms_xdb_config.set HTTPS port 5502. Now we set the port number 5502 for pluggable database, and before we set the port 5501 for container database. So here you saw how we can configure HTTPS port for CDB, non-CDB and PDB databases. In previous databases it was difficult to configure in such way that you have to run the command emca. You was using emca command to configure DB control, and then you have to start it with emctl command. But now they made it very easy, so you have to just set the port and everything is started already. So this was the process to configure the port for CDB, non-CDB and PDB databases. Hopefully it will be very easy for you now. Thank you very much for watching.